extreme runs. Like, it was like we were down 6, then we were up 6, then they were up 6. So, like, that's a 12-point turn. And I felt like that was consistently happening. So, I think for us, like, still the areas for us to grow are, you know, once we have somebody, like, put away, like, keep it that way. And obviously, like, game execution needs to be better. I think we can, you know, just obviously take care of the ball a little bit better and, you know, execute a little bit better down the stretch. But also, like, it was a tough shot Skylar made, and they made free throws down the stretch. They never gave up. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, for either of you, this is the third straight game you've had that double-digit lead in the second quarter or third quarter, then lost it kind of in that way. Just what similarities do you see between these 3 games and losing the lead like that, and what can you do to just stop that from happening?
Most of it's on us. Like, we just have to make sure that we're taking care of the ball. I think in some of those stretches where teams go on run, we've turned the ball over 2 out of the 3 possessions in a row, and then we're not getting stops. So for us, it's about sometimes maybe slowing ourselves down a little bit, making sure that we get a quality shot, and then locking down on defense. I think Chicago got out some transition buckets, got downhill a little bit, hit the pocket, and we weren't able to recover. So for us, just about taking care of the ball and then making sure that we're executing.
Yeah, that's a career high for you. Most shots you've taken in the game, too. What was it about the way you were being covered or the way you were attacking that you felt like got you going?
I think it was just my mindset of just trying to attack. I mean, they have pretty long bigs, so for me, just trying to find different ways to score at the basket. I think obviously I missed some super easy bunnies at the rim, but I think it helped knocking down 2 threes to start early in the game, and I was like, kind of able to just attack differently after that.
Maisha was pretty fired up after her block. She
Yeah.
said that Stephanie White said you guys don't have any shot blockers. She was amped about that one. What did her energy give you guys late in this game?
Yeah, Mai comes with great energy. I think defensively as well, she was just a solid body that was able to just contest every shot, and she got some really big rebounds for
I mean,
us.
she was a plus 25, so that's pretty dang impressive.
Hey, Caitlin, other than your time on the court together, what do you think has contributed to the growth and chemistry among you two over the years?
I mean, I think we're good friends. Like, that always helps. Like, yeah, like, you can be teammates and play basketball, but if you, like, really care for each other and love each other off the court, and I think that goes for our whole team, is, like, when you have that bond and you truly get to know somebody and build a relationship with them, like, that helps, because when you're on the court, you're going to go through moments of adversity. Like, that's just basketball, and that's what helps you get you through. But also, like, I feel like I always know where Aaliyah is. I think we got a little telepathy now, so hopefully we get that going more, too.
Caitlin, that third quarter, you and Steph pick up some techs, but it seemed like the team responded after that. What did that maybe do to kind of ignite you all and get out of that lull?
Yeah, I mean, I was glad to see Steph get a technical. And she said the ref was
She's
soft.
crazy.
She said she thought she didn't deserve it, but yeah, the same ref teed us both up. But I mean, mine was definitely deserved, but I wanted it. Because like then after that, I got to the free throw line more. So, and the third quarter kind of started off when they were the only ones going to the free throw line, and eventually we got there. But I mean, hopefully if like your coach gets a technical, like that should fire the team up. Like you should want to go to war after that, and I feel like we did, and kind of made a little bit of a run there. And then especially at the start of the fourth quarter, we made a run to close it like within a minute and a half or 2 minutes, which is pretty impressive out of the start of the fourth as well. Last one. You're good. Yeah, I know. Nobody's asking me about my shoes.
I am going to ask you about your shoes.
Okay, you don't have to say that now. It's totally okay. If you weren't.
Sorry. But I mean, it's an Eras Tour Kobe's,
Yeah,
right?
they're
So
fire.
what's the story behind those? And then you're
Yeah.
also wearing an anklet. So is there any
Yeah.
significance behind that?
Well, I'm wearing like some friendship bracelets on my socks. I don't know if that's allowed. I might be getting fined from the league for that, but that's all right. I'll pay that too. But yeah, these are my last PEs that I was going to debut, so I saved the best ones for last. But obviously, you guys know I'm a big fan of Taylor, and the Eras Tour was the best concert of all time. So that's what I like the thought behind these, and I think they're pretty fun. I've never had so many people ask me for my shoes after the game today. Like literally every kid was screaming for them, and I felt bad. I'm like, honestly, no, sorry. I got to keep them. But I felt bad, but.
Watch this. Caitlin Clark is sitting at the post-game podium, staring directly into the cameras. She has just delivered an absolute masterclass on the hardwood, but she does not look like a player celebrating a hard-fought win. She leans into the microphone, and what she says next, and more importantly, how she says it, is going to get dissected by every basketball analyst with an opinion by tomorrow morning. I am going to show you exactly what she said, and then I am going to tell you how I read it. Those are two different things, and I want to be clear about which is which. So, the Indiana Fever are clashing with the Chicago Sky in a critical matchup. The Fever need a statement win, But for most of this game, their offense looked stuck in mud against Chicago's length and athleticism. The pace was slow, the possessions were heavy, and then Clark decided the game would not end that way.
We weathered the storms, okay? We came together. Y'all, I heard you more in huddles and in timeouts than I've heard you all year long. That matters. That matters, right? The collective positivity, the collective accountability, talking each other up, that is huge, y'all. Yes, we are closing that thing. We are closing that fist right here. But I'm so proud of the way that you came together, the way that you fought in that fourth quarter and those runs, the way that we came together going into overtime, coming together and finishing this game. Yes. All right, great job. That we grew today. Yep. We grew today. I'm proud of you guys. AB career high 34 points.
Before we get to the podium, look at this sequence from earlier in the game. Clark brings the ball up against a heavy press, recognizes the trap forming near the timeline, sells a hesitation dribble that freezes the primary defender completely, and threads a no-look bounce pass through a window that should not exist. Boston finishes uncontested at the rim. I want to flag something here, and I'll say up front, this is my interpretation, not a confirmed fact. When a play like this happens in the flow of the game, fast, instinctive, unscripted, and it works this cleanly, it tends to highlight, by contrast, how different the team looks when it's grinding through a slower, more deliberate possession. Whether that contrast reflects a coaching philosophy issue or just normal variance in execution is something reasonable people can disagree on. I have my read, you might have yours. As the game spills into overtime, fatigue is visible on everyone. Chicago leans into a heavy press, bumping Clark and forcing the ball out of her hands early. In the half court, the spacing tightens up, and the Sky defense starts anticipating passing lanes before they open. The offense slows to a crawl.
On the defensive end of the floor, she's got a really good feel, and we needed that. And she finished plays with the boards. She's also a ball mover, So when you have her and AB on the floor together, you've got multiple bigs that can move the ball. And I thought she was really, really good for us, particularly in that fourth quarter and overtime.
I have two of the I guess my first one. This is the third straight game you guys have had, a double-digit lead in the second or third, and then kind of lost it. Just what similarities do you see in these three games, both in how you lost the lead and then the last two, how you came back from it?
Yeah, I think there's breakdowns, turnovers that lead to scores. Breakdowns in defensive coverage that lead to open threes or that lead to.
The projection in that statement is extraordinary. The fans are not taking Caitlin Clark for granted. The fans are tracking every possession she is removed from. They are documenting every uncalled foul. They are analyzing every substitution pattern that leaves her on the bench during critical stretches. The fans know precisely what they have, which is exactly why they are frustrated. The only party in this situation who has operationally treated Caitlin Clark as expendable is the coaching staff itself. The evidence is tactical and measurable. She is regularly moved off the ball in a half-court system that neutralizes her most dangerous attributes. She was benched for 7 consecutive minutes last night while the opposing team erased a 17-point lead. The play that won the game was drawn up by an assistant coach, not the head coach, suggesting the offensive system White runs does not have a designed action for Clark's most lethal skill set. The post-game narrative was immediately redirected away from her. White then added that it has been a rough go over the last 18 to 24 months for Clark, and that she is finding her way and working to grow that confidence back.
Taking a foul thing, but we've got to have options both ways.
And then one more on Sydney Taylor, undrafted rookie. What did you think of what she did in that third quarter and how difficult she made it for you all to?
Well, she can get on a heater quickly. We've seen it on film. You've seen it in her numbers. She can get on, get hot and go to work. And she's a tough matchup. She's her ability to shoot the three, her quickness. Off the bounce.
Joseph, she's not.
She's a hell of a player, and she shot the shit out of it tonight.
This is the moment everything shifts. Clark calls for the ball near the center logo. Watch the footwork. She plants her right foot hard, sells a strong side drive, and the defender shifts weight to cut it off. That's the opening. Clark counters with a violent step back, gathers well beyond the arc, and elevates as the defender lunges late on the contest. The release is clean, high arc, the net snaps. That shot, created entirely off a broken set, with 0 time on the clock and a defender draped on her, is the moment that sets up everything Clark says afterward. Keep that sequence in your head, because it is the evidence she is going to be asked to comment on.
4 players with one, guys. She also extends her record for most 25-plus point games plus 10 assist games in WNBA history, moving up to 8. Next closest is Sabrina Ionescu with 5. She also extends her record for most 20 points, 10 assist games in WNBA history, moving up to 13. Next closest is Vandersloot with 10. Caitlin Clark is the best women's basketball player ever. Now, I know we say a lot of stuff about Caitlin Clark being the GOAT, but when you look at these numbers and look at what she's done, she's only in her 3rd season. You guys understand that, right? She's only in her 3rd season.
Now the podium. Here is what I can tell you for certain. Clark's tone was serious. Her demeanor was not that of someone basking in a win. It was measured, almost clinical, the way players get when they're choosing their words carefully because they know those words are going to travel. She spoke about the value of playing free, trusting instinct in the moment, and not overthinking possessions when the game is on the line. Now here is where I have to be honest with you about what comes next. Everything beyond that is interpretation. I don't have the exact transcript in front of me to walk through line by line, and I think it matters to say that clearly, because a lot of channels will take a tone and a vibe and present it to you as a direct quote-by-quote takedown of a coaching staff. I'm not going to do that. What I will say is this: when a player who just bailed out a broken possession with a step back from beyond the arc gets asked about it afterward, and the answer centers on instinct, freedom, and trusting the gut over the script, that is a meaningful choice of framing. She didn't have to talk about instinct. She could have talked about execution, about finally getting into a rhythm, about the team grinding it out. She chose to talk about playing free. That word choice, in that context, after that sequence, I think it says something. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. And here's why this matters beyond one quote from one podium. We have talked on this channel before about the tension between Stephanie White's half-court system and the instinctive, pace-based game that this roster, and especially Clark, plays at its best. That tension is not something I'm inventing. It shows up in the box scores. It shows up in the way this offense looks different in transition versus in a set half-court possession. If Clark's post-game comments are read by people inside that organization as a subtle commentary on that exact tension, even if that wasn't her intent, that creates a real conversation inside that building. Intent and perception are 2 different things, and in a locker room, perception often wins. So here's what I'm watching for, and this is genuinely just me thinking out loud. The next game, not the press conference before it, the first few possessions of it. Does the offense look different? Does Clark get more freedom to operate, more transition opportunities, fewer rigid half-court sets in crunch time? If the answer is yes, that tells you the organization heard something in those comments, whether or not Clark intended to send a message. If the answer is no, if everything looks exactly the same, then maybe this was just a player reflecting honestly on a tough win, and I'm reading too much into a press conference. Either way, I think it's worth watching closely. Because in professional sports, sometimes the most revealing moments aren't the loud ones, they're the quiet, measured ones. The ones where a player chooses their words carefully, knowing exactly how much weight those words can carry. What's your read? Do you think there's something to this? Or am I overanalyzing a tired player after a long overtime game? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of breakdown. I'll see you in the next one.